Hey, how's it going? Zuko here, and today we're talking about some anime figure news. Just felt like the right time to make another one of these. No special occasion, just gonna cover a variety of figures I felt interesting, and hopefully you do too. For instance, we're getting pop-up parades for Bravely Default to celebrate the 10th anniversary of the series. It's always nice when Square Enix doesn't keep their IPs trapped within the company and allows other manufacturers to make figures for them. I mean, it's never gonna happen for Final Fantasy and rarely does for like Dragon Quest, but the smaller series escaping from Square's dungeon is fine by me, as I often like them just as much, if not more. Now, for those of you who follow this channel, then you've probably noticed the Eikichi plushie that sits behind me in most of my videos. It's probably my favorite plushie. It has a lot of sentimental value to me, which is a story for another time, but the point is, I could totally see myself picking up Eikichi because I love her. Now, I think most people probably would have preferred Nendoroids instead. I mean, they are going with the chibi in-game models for these figures, so they already kind of fit the bill, but I actually don't mind that they're pop-up parades. I just hope the price reflects the fact that they're on the smaller side, but considering it's related to Square, I'm not feeling comfortable gambling on that opinion, so we'll just have to wait and see. But yeah, it seems like Tiz and Agnes are up first, with Eikichi and Ring-a-Bell to follow eventually. So they're saving the best for last, a common strategy. Next up, surprisingly, we just talked about this last month, but Wonderful Works' new Ryza figure based on the upcoming third game is already painted and is likely going up for pre-order really soon. I think the more I see this redesign, the more it grows on me. I already liked it, but I'm just saying I like it more than last time. You really get to appreciate all the bells and whistles that go into these Ryza sculpts once the color is added. Hold on, sorry, I just lost my train of thought. Is this a gigantic safety pin on her back? Okay, I did not see that last time. That is actually pretty funny. I kinda love it, it's so silly looking. This is a good redesign, and one of the best things about the Wonderful Works figures is that they always include the staff, which looks awesome this time around. But I will say, and this could just be the lighting, but I'm not loving her face at the moment. It's mostly just her mouth though. Like the shadows being cast on her face just makes it look like she's sucking on her lips or something. I don't know, it looks off a bit. I really hope this isn't the case when we get the pre-order photos, but it looks odd right now. If you were worried that Pony Canyon was gonna like one and done ya with that Azur Lane figure they recently put up for pre-order, fear not, as they're sticking with making figures for a foreseeable future. This time with an updated painted prototype of the NTW20 Aristocrat Experience Service version from Girls Frontline. Really digging the three components on this one. The girl, of course, she's very cute. I love her vibrant pink hair and eyes. The sheer size and detailing going into the sniper rifle she's leaning on. And the trolley cart with the tea and the cake just has a really nice finish to it. In fact, I think it's the combination of like all the different finishes and touches each part of the figure has that really makes it stand out for me. The wood on the cart looks all polished and shiny, beautiful colors on it too. The gunmetal of the rifle body with the glossy scope, and the mostly matte finish of NTW20's maid outfit outside of like the glossy shoes. I don't know, there's just a lot of care being put into this one. Okay, so this was actually the reason I wanted to make this video in the first place. I thought it was so funny when this popped up on MFC, the moment I finished watching Chainsaw Man episode 4. Now, for those of you who do watch the anime or have read the manga, then you know this isn't actually that strange. It's a memorable scene from the series. It's not like Eastream is trying to push some fetish thing. No, this is ripped right from the source material. But I gotta say, this is so far from what I would ask for when it comes to power figures. And you can really feel the divide on this one if you go read the comments about it. But here's my take. We've established that this is part of the series. It's also unique and rather fitting for power as well. And on top of that, a lot of people are quick to say that this is gross or something, and your opinions are totally valid, it's your money after all. But if you collect figures from Japan, I guarantee this is nowhere near the weirdest thing you've ever seen. I mean, just like a week or two ago, I saw a bunny girl figure just taking a piss because someone's gonna buy it. So I don't dislike this figure's existence. However, trying to fit this into my collection would be such a monumental undertaking, as I have nothing that would match this figure. You know, most people when they set up their shelves like to pair up figures through matching themes or colors. It's part of the fun. But how the hell am I gonna pair this toilet with anything I have? Totally just a me problem, but others could see it that way too. Now, as for the figure itself, it looks okay. I do really like her face and especially the sculpted sharp teeth. And I love this outfit in general, so I just like seeing a figure of power wearing it. But there's so many seam lines on this figure all over her shirt, and the hair has a giant one. Just makes the figure look a lot cheaper. Also, let's remember that this scene is in Aki's apartment, a very standard Japanese apartment with a basic toilet and generic ceramic tiles. I don't expect to be blown away by the porcelain throne that she sits upon, but like, I think what I'm trying to say here is that this figure costs nearly 33,000 yen, and it gives the impression of something closer to 20,000. I mean, that's just Eastream for you. They're allergic to reasonable prices, but it certainly doesn't make this an easy purchase for anybody. Still, at least it's unique looking, and it did give me a good chuckle, and maybe this figure has some good like photography meme potential, who knows. We're also getting Figma and Playmax, or Plamax, I think it is Plamax actually, of Denji and Power. Denji looks a little too clean at the moment. I think he is in desperate need of some blood, and they did not show Power in any form yet, so we'll have to wait and see what she looks like. But if you're into Figma, then, you know, these finally happened. Though I don't think this is a very surprising announcement, you know what I mean? Like, these are gonna happen eventually. Alright, it's time for a really big Spy Family section. There was a ton of announcements. Unfortunately, just announcements, nothing was shown, but I still feel like it's worth going through regardless. Starting off small though, literally, we had the Figure Arts minis of Yuri, Damien, and Becky. If you don't know what these are, they're like little 3-inch, slightly posable figures that Figure Arts and Bandai have been making. They cost around 20 bucks each if I recall. They looked okay, like the Elden Ring ones I've seen before looked fine, so these could look good for like, you know, little minifigures of these characters. This one's a little confusing to me, SH Figure Arts of Anya, Bond, Lloyd, and Yor. Now I'm pretty sure the text on the top right is wrong, because she already has a like normal clothes version Figure Arts. I'm pretty sure this is saying that she's getting a school uniform Figure Arts, though I don't know what that means for Lloyd and Yor because they already had their assassin and spy uniforms in Figure Arts form. We didn't have Bond, so like that's a new one entirely. But yeah, this is just interesting because I'm not exactly sure where they're going with some of these characters. This one's pretty exciting to me though, gem figures from Mega House of Lloyd and Yor. Now, if you're looking for a scale figure of either of these two characters, then it's kind of slim pickings at the moment. You do have the Furyu scale figures, which in my opinion aren't that great, and Mega House is a solid ass company, so I do believe in them to finally give us nice figures of these two. Plus it's just really nice to see Lloyd getting another chance at a good scale figure. We know Yor is going to get more. The Good Small Company one is still in the works, though that figure might be very formal if the artwork they showed off is anything to go by. So who could say what any of these figures are going to end up looking like, but more options are great. Mega House is great. Looking forward to these two for sure. Kotobukiya is also making figures for Spy Family now. We're getting Anya and Bond together. Hopefully there's some fun interaction between these two. There was a really cute figure of these two from Figure Arts 0, I believe, where Anya was just sleeping on Bond. I was kind of tempted to pick that one up, but it's nice to see that Kotobukiya is finally making Spy Family figures. I just would have assumed that they would have jumped on this way sooner, considering they like to make these popular shonen anime figures, right? Good Smile Company is making Nendoroid dolls for the three main characters, which kind of tells me that the original Nendoroids of these three sold really well, which is not surprising even if there was a bit of debate over Anya. But yes, Good Smile Company is going to continue to try and make some more money with this series. And maybe this is only surprising to me, but they're also making a Nendoroid for Damien, which I definitely did not see coming, but I appreciate them making figures for the supporting cast. This next one isn't much of an announcement. I just kinda wanted to give a shout out to Macross Do You Remember Love. It's such a good movie, especially if you watch the Blu-ray. Man, do the visuals hold up like almost 40 years later. But yes, Arcadia is teasing the painted prototype of Lynn. Only really showing us her boots though, so I don't want to stick on this announcement for too long. But I will say, if they stick with the classic Macross style for this figure, then I'm gonna be really tempted, because even to this day, I still will just randomly listen to the main song of this movie that she sings at the end of it, because it's just iconic, it's memorable, and it's stuck with me for like 5 years ever since I've seen this movie. Okay, this one's really interesting. If you missed it, the pop-up parade for KAngel from Needy Girl Overdose, or Needy Streamer Overload if you're outside of Japan I guess, went up for pre-order. Has one of the absolute best pre-order bonuses I've ever seen as well. The sad cat sticker you use to communicate in the game. I'm so tempted to buy this figure just for that alone, I'm not joking. But the main thing here, and you might have already started reading the image already, but they're doing a giveaway, an extremely limited giveaway. So just to read it out really quickly, if you follow Good Smile Company and retweet this tweet, then 2 lucky giveaway winners will receive a special pearl paint version of Pop-Up Parade Oh My God Kawaii Angel featuring KAngel's signature on the base. Now, I do believe this is not limited to just the US. Other regions have their own giveaways, but the number of figures is still extremely small. Maybe even being able to count on both hands, right? Two figures for the US, and if you ask me, the pearl finish looks better, and not even in like a drastically different way either. It kinda just looks like how it should in the first place, if that makes sense. I don't know, but either way, I'm conflicted on this. On the one hand, it's cool, they're giving away something special for free. But on the other hand, it's so limited. And this series is really popular, like way more than you'd think if you haven't followed the game or the Twitter account. And it's crazy, because I played this game like 2 days after it released. A friend just came up to me and was like, hey, you want to play this on stream? And gifted it to me. Played the whole thing in one sitting, and it's an experience I haven't forgotten. Games like this really do stick with you, and I implore you to try it out if you haven't yet. But anyway, I just wish there were more available, or maybe even just the signature was the special giveaway, because that feels unique enough, right? Maybe I'm overthinking it, but knowing that there's a version that I like more that I will just never have is a bit of a bummer. And if you were like a super fan of this game, I could see this really bothering you. But hey, who knows, maybe you'll win. Be sure to enter, it is free after all. Oh boy, these figures. So I'm going to be going over a bunch of re-releases in our pre-order roundup, but because this one just happened, I figured I'd mention it now. The amount of times I've seen these figures, especially the White Bunny, and how upset people were that they couldn't pick them up because they were so expensive on the aftermarket. Their tears could fill up a pool, the demand was so crazy. And now everybody just gets another chance to pick up both of them. It really goes to show you though that you never know what's going to happen within these companies. Most people likely assumed that these would never get re-released for whatever reason, and yet here we are now able to purchase them. So if you like these two, jump on it before you regret it. We got an update on Alter's Atago Stunning Speedster and Takao Full Throttle Charmer, a set of 2 Azur Lane girls pushing up against each other and destroying a poor chick in the process. Alter doesn't really miss with these Azur Lane figures, it's kind of what they're becoming known for at this point, and like all the other ones they've made, they look super alluring and attractive. Excellent tights and boob squish, a nice butt, everything you could ask for really. Probably gonna go up for pre-order pretty soon, maybe this month if I had to guess. But we also learned that these 2 girls can be separated, but we don't know how. As in, can you buy them separately, or do they come with optional parts? Frankly, I think you really hurt the composition by separating them. It's a much better piece when they're together, but that could just be because I don't like their alternate faceplates as much. It's a little hard to say. Options are always good, but we need to find out more on this one. Aniplex's Nero figure is maybe the only one from them I'm really looking forward to seeing. I don't know, I don't really buy their figures much, but I've had my eyes on her ever since seeing the announcement. And now we get an unpainted prototype to look at. I actually wasn't expecting her to come with the background piece from the art, but it definitely adds a lot to the sculpt. The gold pattern along with the flowers are really going to stand out in a great way, and I just really love this outfit she's wearing. The long robe, or maybe it's a cloak, the big boots, the black leggings, and almost entirely red. Yeah, I'm excited to see more of this one for sure. Mimeyoi making a Bridget figure is something that I never would have put on a bingo board. Like, I kind of just thought they stuck with Azur Lane, but goddamn, this is pretty exciting. Now, we're not going to see this till 2023, but I love the confidence that Strive gave all these companies to finally make Guilty Gear figures. I mean, yeah, we started getting some during Zerd and Rev 2, but now it feels like the floodgates have opened. We're living in a Guilty Gear renaissance. And Bridget's redesign is so damn cute, I just had to throw this on my wish list the moment I saw it. I don't even play Strive, I like the older games more, but I love seeing Guilty Gear characters get figures, and having this Bridget figure next to my May figure I have on pre-order is gonna look so adorable. Oniri Creations is giving some love to Great Teacher Onizuka, a series I hold dear as it was one of those like late teen, young adult defining shows for me. One of the few series I feel like I need to get merch for at some point, high up on the wish list of things to get. But unfortunately for me, this seems to be a statue, which means 2 things. Really big and really expensive, which is gonna probably gatekeep me from purchasing this one. The image here, which is just taken off their Instagram, I think isn't much to write home about. In fact, I don't really love the way his hair looks here, but it could just be a filter making it look that way. Gonna hold off judgment on that, but it's not like it really matters in the end for me, sadly. Still, it makes me happy to see a company make figures or statues for one of the coolest characters to come out of Japan. HOTVENUS revealed their prototype for a 1/4 scale figure of Kurosawa Mashiro, an OC character by Oekakizuki, if I said that right, little hard to say. Very well-known artist though, follow them if you're horny, but this is a gigantic nurse figure if you're interested in mixing up your 1/4 scales outside of just bunny girls. It's got a slightly gothic vibe, I suppose, mostly cause she's in a black nurse outfit, big chest opening with a tiny bra keeping her family friendly, sorta. But I gotta say, I'm not loving it so far, and I gotta open this image in a separate window to kind of showcase why. Her lips are so pronounced at the moment, and I don't think it looks good. And there's also something oddly boring to me regarding her legs. I can't quite put my finger on it this time, as they're a nice length, a nice thickness and all, but I don't know, could just be the lack of paint, which robs us from seeing the shading and whatnot, but we'll see. Hopefully I like this one more in the future. Eastream announced a wedding dress figure for Kaguya, which I gotta imagine is pretty exciting for people who either love this character or really like wedding dress figures. I think if I could trust Eastream with anything, it's making like a really nice flowing dress sculpt, but I don't have a lot to work with this image, so I guess, again, we'll just have to wait and see how this one turns out. I do not know this series yet. I believe it's getting an anime, but Aniplex announced 1/8 scale figures of Mash, Lance, and Rain from Mashle. There is definitely a big push for this series, as it doesn't have an anime yet, and I've seen multiple figures at this point for it, so hopefully I like it, and if you already know what this series is, then maybe this is exciting to you. Aniplex also announced a 1/4 scale of Rengoku from Demon Slayer. I'm not sure if this is made by Freeing. I know that we got a Tengen Uzui figure that was in 1/4 scale. I don't think that went up for pre-order yet. I don't know if this is the same team working on this one, but I thought that one looked pretty good, so I think this figure will also turn out to be pretty solid as well. Maybe the pose is a little boring, but they don't usually go that hard on 1/4 scale posing, so I understand. Hopefully it's nowhere near as expensive as like Geto and Gojo, but they probably will be, so I'm not going to hold my breath on that one. Amakuni showed off their swimming club manager from Arms Note with a wonderful body sculpt, attractive skin complexion, and bright green eyes that are really pulling me in. However, I'm sorta conflicted on this one, as even though it turns this swimsuit figure into something more unique, I'm not crazy about the leggings and the gun. I'm probably just not the demographic for this figure, but I kinda hope this is a figure with a ton of optional parts. Also, I hope she comes with her jacket, as I do like that as well. Vibrastar showed off their prototype for the Dojiko-made Lily, a figure that I think looks pretty damn cute, but I'm also kind of like wondering how they're gonna handle a certain aspect of this figure. So if we take a look at it, she's dropped a plate, she's picking up the pieces, she's crying about it. It's a cute setup, right? But if we look at this image here, and I open it up again, I zoom in, she actually got a cut, and she's bleeding. And I'm wondering if they're actually gonna put that detail into the figure, because they're definitely showcasing that her stockings were ripped, but I feel like a lot of people wouldn't want the blood. I don't know, I think it would make people uncomfortable if it was there. It certainly makes it more unique, but I also don't feel like it's necessary to sell people on the figure. I think just the design of the girl is cute enough as it is. But yeah, it's just interesting to me, because like that could totally be omitted, and I feel like most people would not care, but then you're not fully representing the original artist's intent, so I don't know. Don't think it really matters that much. Still a cute looking figure, and we'll just have to wait for an update to see how they handle this one. Okay, last up is Astrum Designs Halloween Succubus. Saved the spiciest one for last. I think Astrum Designs is a company worth remembering. Every figure I've seen from them stands out in a really positive way, and this girl is no exception. Apparently she should be available to pre-order now, but I think they're a Chinese manufacturer, so it might take some time to get to AmiYami and other stores. Since I pushed this video back a day, I think I actually saw her go up on Hobby Link Japan, so you might want to check there if you're interested in her. But anyway, this figure's lewd as hell and very colorful. There's a big emphasis on orange and purple stripes. Very obvious on the fun, oversized sleeves and stockings, but even her top and crotch are both covered up with thin layers of stripes. These figures where the clothing kind of just disappears when you turn the figure around though are gonna give me such a damn headache. I just don't understand, man. They must be really tightly secured up there. But it does give you a lovely full moon to appreciate, so who cares? But yeah, this one's just really fun. Even if she was fully covered up, I'd still say this is a great looking Halloween figure. The base gives vibes of like the Nightmare Before Christmas with the angular curvy gait and the pumpkins all over the place. And you give a girl a giant witch hat and yeah, I'ma like it. So keep your eyes open for this one. I expect to see her sometime in November on most sites, but that's just an assumption. I have no idea. But with that, we are done talking about the anime figure news for today. So thank you so much for watching. If you want to support the channel, just subscribe or like the video, leave me a comment, all that good stuff, you know the drill. And I'll see you soon for the pre-order roundup. I'm working on it right now. Hopefully that's out in like a week or so. And until next time, I guess I'll just see you later. Bye.